Bruise, cruise, who? Do something to us. Talk, go through us. Girls want to us, wanna do us, screw us. Who us? Yeah, Papa and Pump. Close like Starsky and Hutch, stick to clutch. Yeah, I squeeze free at your cherry M3. Bang every MC easily. Recently, niggas frontin' ain't saying nothing, so I just speak my peace, keep my peace. Cubans with the Jesus peace, with my peace. Packing, asking who want it. You got it, nigga, flaunt it. That Brooklyn bullshit, we on it.
Biggie, 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 can't you see? Sometimes your words just hypnotize me, and I just love your flashy ways. I guess that's why.
All right. Ah, there it goes. There it goes. Mike is now coming through. I'm going to have to play this back to see if everything came through. But as always, if you fuck around, yeah, I told everybody, you're going to fuck around and find out soon enough. And with that being said, let's go to this story. This is from Military Times. And it says, headline reads, Pentagon agencies halt MLK Day, Black History Month, other celebrations. And the story reads, the Defense Department Intelligence Agency has paused observances of Martin Luther King Day, Pride Month, Holocaust Days of Remembrance, and other cultural or historical annual events in response to President Donald Trump's ban on diversity, equity, and inclusion. Oh, it was equity. I thought it was equality. But equity and inclusion programs in the federal workplace. The instructions were published Tuesday in a Defense Intelligence Agency memo obtained by the Associated Press and affect 11 annual events, including Black History Month, which begins Saturday, and National Hispanic Heritage Month. The memo's authenticity was confirmed by a U.S. official who said the pause was initiated by the DIA and appears not to be policy across the Defense Department. The official spoke on the condition of anonymity to discuss sensitive matters. We are receiving questions across the workforce on the way forward, the memo says. DIA will pause all activities and events related to agency special emphasis programs effective immediately until further notice. What did I say, y'all? What did I say? What did I say? I said what did I say? I said this was going to happen. All of y'all motherfuckers who voted for Trump, all of y'all who voted for this motherfucker, see what I'm talking about? Things that have been going on for years and years in this country, and now he's trying to change it. He's trying to whitewash everything. And here's my biggest problem. Here's my biggest problem. People don't seem to understand that at the end of the day, he is not for us. Not at all. There is nothing that this man is going to do to make the black experience, the Hispanic experience, the anybody's experience good. This is a power grab to make sure he can do as much criminal shit as he wants. And then make sure that the people that he's buddies with continue to be rich. I mean, it's like he cares nothing about y'all. Nothing. People, he cares nothing about us. Nothing at all. And see, what I need y'all to understand is that at the end of the day, all we got is us. And we got to keep fighting these battles. Because we are who we are. And we should not, with our ancestors who built this motherfucking country, we have every right to have everything we need. Black History Month, MLK Day. All of these things belong to us. And we have to continue to fight for these things, even in the face of a motherfucker who don't give a flying fuck. And that's real talk. Real talk. Moving on. Let me see. Now, hold on. It's not that one. That's not the one I want to go to. Let's go. Is it this one? No. No. Ah, here we go. Had to find the story first. So, speaking of motherfuckers is not for us, people are starting to figure it out. That this nigga ain't nothing but a grifter. And he's using these other people for their money. So that he can continue to get rich. And continue to be in power. And continue to just siphon every red cent he can get from the American people. But there are some people who are starting to figure it out. Don't know what I'm talking about? Well, we're going to go to the report. This from Raw Story. Headline reads, "We are the marks. Some Trump fans feel they've been had after Ponzi meme coin release." And the story goes, President Donald Trump's official meme coin isn't just rubbing some cryptocurrency executives the wrong way, it's also annoying some of the run-of-the-mill MAGA supporters. The Guardian has flagged some comments posted on a pro-Trump subreddit recently that showed disillusionment with Trump's decision to launch his own digital currency, which surged in value shortly after being released, only to see its price plunge in the following weeks. Many MAGA fans on the subreddit believe that Trump's meme coin was a quick cash grab at the expense of his fans, many of whom have plugged significant chunks of cash into it earlier on, only to see its value quickly evaporate. All right. So you thought any different? You thought this was going to be any different? Any different? That's what you thought. You thought this was going to be any different. Like, somebody tell me what you thought was going to happen. The man ain't got no sense. He don't give a fuck about anything. Like, what do you think? What do you think that was? You thought you was going to get some money? Yo, people, I need y'all to understand something. white folks included, especially you. He does not give a fuck. He got his. He got his. He got his. Do you think he give a fuck about y'all? I think not. I think not. But hey, this is who y'all voted to be y'all president. And as we're gonna go on along, you're gonna find out that the shit that's about to happen is gonna affect you directly. That's all I got to say about that. All right, so let's get into something a little more fun. Hold on, let me. Is it or is it? No, that's not it. It's right here. All right, so we're gonna get to something a little more fun. Like I said, I want to do something a little different, and I'm going to give you 10 of my favorite movies with some honorable mentions because, of course, we've got to do all that. Let me just pour my juice, and we're going to get to it. All right, so these movies are movies I love dearly. They are movies I watch. I will rather watch these than some of the shit that we've seen over some of the years. And so with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let's start with my honorable mentions. All right. So my first up on my honorable mentions, The 5 Heartbeats. All right. Now, I would like anybody who has seen this movie just to say, hey, I've seen this movie. It's directed by Robert Townsend. It's basically a Temptations, I guess you want to say, before it came out, before the Temptations biopic, I guess you want to call it, came out. And this is basically kind of the same thing, except they condensed it. This is a very touching story. I love this movie in ways that people need to understand that I love anybody who knows me knows I don't watch TV, and I barely watch movies unless it's something I really want to see. So with this movie, it just touches me in a way. I love the singing. Robert Townsend is great. Everybody was great. The ending is very touching. It brings everything together. Now, don't get me wrong. There are other movies where singing involved, which you will see later in this, that touch me as well. But the only reason this makes honorable mention is because there's one that I prefer over the other. And regardless of that, I will go to this on a regular basis. And that's long and short of it. All right, moving on to the next honorable mention. Coach Carter. Now, this is based on a true story. Samuel L. Jackson, he plays a coach. I forget what town he's in, and he's trying to not only raise. He's not only trying to coach these young men and to be a winning basketball team, but he's trying to coach them in the game of life. And I know all these people, all of y'all watch Power and all the other good shit. Why not watch something that shows a black man helping black men become black men? Like, there's nothing about this movie that you would probably, there's no power, there's no ghost, none of that. But this is the type of movie. This is why I don't watch TV, because there's no movies like this on TV except for this. And like I said, I love this movie with all my heart and soul. But there's other movies on my list that I like better. But I will watch this. As a matter of fact, just speaking on this, I might watch this tonight after I decide whether I want pizza or Chinese food for dinner. But we're going to figure it out. We're going to figure it out. All right, moving on. Next honorable mention, Boomerang. So, Eddie Murphy, great actor. Not great comedian, great actor. Let's get this very straight right quick. Eddie Murphy, not only is a great comedian, he's a great actor. And if any of you know or have ever seen Boomerang, you already know what the story is. He's a womanizer, a corporate womanizer, who gets got, but he also falls in love with a woman. The woman he gets got by, Robin Givens, the woman he falls in love with early Halle Berry. Great movie. There's laughter. There's excitement. Like, this is a typical 90s movie, the way the 90s kind of was. The guys were womanizers, and then they would get got. For whatever way or reason they did, they got. And that's just how it happened. But it makes my honorable mentions. Last honorable mention is Honey. Now, I know what people are going to say. What the fuck? Well, what the hell you doing watching Honey? Now, again, it's not for the acting. Don't get me wrong. Jessica Alba is a pretty good actress. Mekhi Phifer, hey, he's in some of the best. Masterpiece, Son, Little Romeo got his little bread off. Joy Bryant. Even Missy Elliott was in this. But it's not for the acting. It's for the story. You have a young lady who's a dancer, wants to be a star. She becomes a star, and then it all gets taken because she won't give up the boots. And then you have her taking her last to help save a community center. Now, again, not for the acting, but the music's spectacular. It spawned one of my favorite songs. Wait, hold on. Let me see if they actually have that song. Let me see if they actually have that soundtrack. Hold on. In here, and I'll play you a little bit of the song I'm talking about. Hold on. Let's see. Albums. Let's go here. They have the sequel soundtrack. Yo, see, I've never seen stupid shit like this. They have the sequel soundtrack, but they don't have the regular soundtrack. All right, I know how to find it. Give me 1 second. No, not on this one. Let me go here. All right. Come on, come on. I should have loaded this up when I was thinking about this. Here it is. Okay. So again, it it spawned one song that I like very much so. And it's by Jadakiss and Chic Luch. So here you go. Of course, there's going to be a commercial.
Nothing to worry about. Except for bees, sharks, drift, web.
Hold on, let me just make sure you guys can hear it. I want to make sure you guys can hear what I'm getting ready to play. Boom. Boom. Turn this down just a little bit. I don't want to blow nobody's ears out. So here we go. Then commercials.
It is the phenomenon that gripped audiences everywhere.
There we go.
Jada Kiss. Chic.
Woo! D Block. Dog Chow. Yeah. Yeah. Yo, I'm just too much, I flow too sick. I be on top of the snare, all over the kick. Since a young cat, I've been one with the drum tap. The purple start pushing my lungs back. Been there, done that. My words stick to you like thumbtacks. Pardon me, locks hooked up with Rodney. The Ferrari's still, but the truck's mahogany. Hating, I can't get you bastards off me. Fresh like I just took the plastic off me. Me and these streets is high school sweethearts, and I'm always in her, so she can't divorce me. Can't see farther than Kiss. I'm like a father to this. You should go and cop your father to this. I possess the whole package, the girls, the thugs, and it's something about me the world just loves. D Block bringing hell of a pain. Honey, tell him my name. I does what I do. Yeah, the streets love what I do. Honeys and the thugs love it too. D Block and Dog Chow coming through. Let's go. I does what I do. Yeah, the streets love what I do. Honeys and the thugs love it too. D Block and Dog Chow coming through. Let's go.
So that's J80A. That's the name of the song. I don't know why they chose that, but I love. That's why I like the soundtrack is phenomenal. And then there's a song by Yolanda Adams at the end of the movie that, hey, it is the beauty, and it's a beautiful song. It's an uplifting song, and it's a good way to end the movie. So that's why this movie makes my honorable mentions. But now let's get to my 10 favorite. And we'll start with the reason why Five Heartbeats did not make the cut. This is Sister Act 2. Now, I have nothing against Sister Act 1. As a matter of fact, Sister Act 1 would be here if there was no Sister Act 2. And the reason being, Sister Act 1 was the beginning. And then they bring her back and she does something worthwhile. And of course, it's Whoopi Goldberg. You have Lauryn Hill. I forgot the young man who was in City High. He was in. Yo, this movie is great. Everything about it is great. Don't believe me? Here we go. I'm just going to play this because I love this right here. And as always, commercials, but you guys didn't hear it. But you will now see one of the big reasons why I love this movie.
Joyful, joyful Lord, we adore thee. God of glory, Lord of love. Hearts unfold like flowers before thee.
Your teacher says take off your robes.
Hail
Take off your robes. Do it quickly, come on. I don't know, just take off your robes.
Put on anything you want. If we're gonna go out there, we're gonna go out there comfortable. Some of us.
pain and sadness drive the dark of doubt away. Giver of immortal gladness, fill us with the light. Fill us with the light. Oh, fill us with the light of day.
All right, that's Joyful from Sister Act 2. Now you can see kind of one of the reasons that I love this movie. And then the subplot with Lauryn Hill and her mother makes this movie a must watch. And I'm going to say this, if you have not seen this, I believe you should see this movie. It's one of those movies that I hold very dear to my heart. Every time it comes on, I watch it. And I just feel like anybody who does not understand what this movie is about, I really think you should take a moment, sit down, and watch this movie. That's all I got to say about that. All right, we're going to move on to the next movie. Next movie is Save the Last Dance. Now, the reason why, again, I'm probably going to get, what the fuck, Willie? Why Save the Last Dance? I'm going to tell you why. Save the Last Dance, it's not for the movie itself. The movie itself is kind of generic, but it's for the message. Now, in this age of Donald Trump and all his cronies and all this thing, this is a movie that would probably be humongous today because I need people to understand. This is a black man and a young white woman dating, getting frisky. Now, don't get me wrong. To me, I don't give a fuck. You love who you love, and if that's who you love, hey, I can care less. But it's the message behind it that love conquers all. And I believe that should be a message everybody takes. So yes, a couple of these movies is not for the story itself, but for the message that it sends. Except for Sister Act. Sister Act was for both. For both. All right, moving on. Terminator 2, Judgment Day. Who doesn't like this movie? Who doesn't? James Cameron, as my man PJG would say, Arnold Stomp a nigga. But we know his real name is Arnold Schwarzenegger. The T-1000, come on now. Like, what more needs to be said? This movie is a fucking classic. And if you don't really like this movie, I question what kind of movies you like. Because this is one of the few perfect action movies that I've ever seen. Marvelous a protagonist. The villain is off the chain. This is a perfect movie. Perfect in every way, shape, or form. But again, if it's not for you, it's not for you. But this is a perfect movie. I love this movie. And that's just how I see it. Moving on. New Jack City. Wesley Snipes, Ice-T, MVP, Mario Van Peebles, Judd Nelson, the designated white boy, Harlem, the Carter, Nino Brown, early Alan Payne. Now, don't get me wrong, okay? Yes, I like movies more in a positive light for black people. But this movie is kind of realistic. I mean, Paid in Full. This is kind of what it was. And of course, the villain gets what he deserves. But this also brings up a question that I want everybody just to think about. Was Nino Brown really a villain? Was he really a villain? Moving on. Above the Rim. Now, here is what I need for people to realize why Above the Rim is such a wonderful movie and why it needs to be taken in the proper context. Here is a young black man who has all of the talent in the world. Oops, excuse me. Hold on, let me just tighten this up. All the talent in the world to do anything to make it, to get out of the proverbial ghetto. And he gets caught up and almost throws everything away. And this is a story that we hear every day. early Dwayne Martin, Tupac Shakur, Marlon Wayans, Leon, early Wood Harris. I mean, what more can you do? This is a story that I think all young black men should watch. Because what could have happened to Dwayne Martin's character is what usually happens in real life. Soundtrack, read it, one of the best songs, one of my favorite Tupac songs. It's called Pain. You should, if your favorite DSP or whatever you want to call it, I think you should listen to it. All right. So before we get into the rest of these movies and the rest of these stories, you know where I'm going. All right. So let's get back to the list since they didn't have what they should have had. Okay, boom. There it is. And go. Okay, cool. Because everything's at the bottom. All right. So, after let's finishing it off. Get to the story. She doesn't want you to get the best. She's not trying to give you no draws. So, instantly, some dudes from the street think this.
Young rich niggas. So we ain't really never had no old money. We got a whole lot of new money though. Hey! Raindrop, drop top, smoking on cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Cooking up dope in the crock pot. We came from nothing to something, nigga. Hey. I don't try nobody, grip the trick. Nobody call up the gang and they come and get gang. Cry me a river, give you a tissue. Bad.
So there you go, bad and bougie. Yeah, sometimes, you done talk to the girl, you trying to get her number, and she acting all bad and bougie. But if you're smart, you won't think that. This is what you do. You write down, you know, or not even write down anymore. You be like, yo, let me get your phone. Put your number in, and then this is what you say. All right, that's one call away. Yeah, that's Chingy, Jason Weaver. Yeah, you gotta put that number in her phone, let her know. And like he said, yo, you take the walk through the park, all that stuff. And then usually, if you do right, this is what happens. So yeah, that's usually what happens when you do the right thing. You know, you ain't gonna get no sleep. But the most important thing about this is if you do the right thing, this is what she will do for you. And yeah, that's what most guys would like if you do the right thing. If you definitely do the right thing. All right. So we're going to get into the stories. I will finish my list next week. As you know, tomorrow starts Black History Month. So let's we're gonna kick it off right. I have some things planned for Black History Month, like I did last year, that I was very, very proud of, and we gonna get back to it. All right. So let's go here. Oh yeah, that's the GTO. Yeah. All right. So I'm pretty sure you guys have been watching the news and stuff like that. You know that they're trying to the House and the government is trying to pass more cuts and pass more tax cuts for the top 1%. That's what I call them. But with all this man trying to pass these tax cuts, what do you not realize? This shit gonna affect us hard body. Oh, you don't believe me? Okay, so let's go. Let's go to the report. This is from ProPublica, and it reads: to pay for Trump tax cuts, House GOP floats plan to slash benefits for the poor and working class. Okay, keep that in mind as I'm reading the story. ProPublica is a nonprofit newsroom. Blah 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 blah. Abuse of power. One of the hallmarks of Donald Trump's presidential campaign was a promise of sweeping tax cuts for the rich, for working people, and for companies alike. Now, congressional Republicans have the job of figuring out which of those cuts to propose into law. In order to pay for the cuts, they have started to eye some targets to raise money. Among them, cutting benefits for single mothers and poor people who rely on government health care. The proposals are included in a menu of tax and spending cut options circulated this month by House Republicans. Whether or not Republicans enact any of the ideas remains to be seen. Some of the potential targets are popular tax breaks and cuts could be politically treacherous. And cutting taxes for wealthy could risk damaging the populist image that Trump has cultivated. For the ultra-wealthy, the document floats eliminating the federal estate tax at an estimated cost of $370 billion in revenue for the government over a decade. The tax, which charges a percentage of the value of a person's fortune after they die, kicks in only for estates worth more than around $14 million. Okay? Among those very few Americans who get hit with the tax, nearly 30% of the tax is paid by the top 0.1% by income. According to estimates by Tax Policy Center think tank, many ultra-wealthy people already largely avoid the tax over the years. Lawyers and accountants have devised ways to pass fortunes to their heirs tax-free, often by using complex trust structures, as ProPublica has previously reported. Another proposal aims to slash the top tax rate paid by corporations and by almost a third. So, as you can see, they want to cut estate tax. So, basically, if you die, your estate pays a tax on any wealth over $14 million. Also, they're trying to keep these corporations from paying taxes. Trump promised a cut during the campaign, but Vice President J.D. Vance came out against it before Trump picked him as his running mate. We sort of in line with the OECD right now. He said in an interview last year referring to the Organization for Economic Corporations and Development, a group of 36 wealthy developed nations, I don't think we need to be cutting the corporate tax rate further. In Trump's first term, he brought the corporate tax rate down from 35% to 21%, where it is now taking the U.S. from a high rate compared to other OECD nations to about average. The proposed cut to 15% will make the United States among the lowest of such countries. To pay for these new tax cuts, the House Republicans' proposal floats a series of potential overhauls of government programs. One major focus is possible cuts to Medicaid, the health care program for people with low income that is administered by the states. Medicaid expansion was a key tenet of the Affordable Care Act, passed under President Barack Obama. Many Republican governors initially chose not to take advantage of the new federal subsidies to expand the program. In the intervening years, several states have reversed course, and the program has expanded the number of people enrolled in Medicaid by more than 20 million as of last year. Okay, so you see that, right? We need Medicaid. I mean, people who are less fortunate than these millionaires and billionaires who have low to no income, are they not entitled to health care? Really? Are they not entitled to health care? So they're just supposed to, I don't know, die? I mean, I don't know what else to say. Like, it boggles the mind that these people who have no sense basically are saying, hey, we have all this money and we basically shouldn't be paying for nothing. That's basically what this is. You're saying you got all this money and basically you're saying you shouldn't pay for nothing. That's basically what it sounds like to me. Oh, and by the way, we shouldn't pay for nothing, and you guys should pay for everything. And the things that help people get along in life, oh, they shouldn't have.
Get the fuck out of here!
Really? I told everybody we gonna fuck around and find out. Lo and behold. All right. So now we're gonna get to my last story before, of course, we get to the Get the Fuck Out of Here award for this week. Oh, and this one is a fucking doozy. But we're gonna go to a positive story. You know, usually we hear shit that boggles the mind, but be miracles. Well, this is one of those stories. We're going to go to the report. It is by Shine My Crown. Headline reads, woman 76 goes viral after doctor tells her she's pregnant, and the internet can't believe it. A 76-year-old Atlanta woman has taken the internet by storm after now viral video captured the shocking moment a doctor told her she was 12 weeks pregnant, a revelation that left social media users buzzing with disbelief and intrigue. The viral clip, recorded by the woman's great-granddaughter, Maya, shows the elderly woman lying in the hospital bed where she had been admitted after feeling dizzy, a symptom her family initially believed was linked to her blood sugar levels. Instead, the doctors delivered an unexpected diagnosis. We have obtained the results of your urine and you are definitely pregnant. When I found out my 76-year-old mother was diagnosed with pregnancy at 12 weeks, I was in shock. Social media reacts to the unbelievable news. The video, which has racked up over 40 million views in just 4 days, quickly spread across platforms as stunned viewers question the legitimacy of the claim. The doctor seen in the footage even asked the grandmother if she has been sexually active recently, to which she humorously replied, no. A follow-up video posted by Maya offered some clarification, explaining that her great-grandmother had been asked to provide a urine sample for routine medical tests, and the unexpected results sparked a viral moment. Despite lingering skepticism about the validity of pregnancy, the family is leaning into the excitement. Really? So, this is my thing. Grandma, you was fucking. And then what makes it even crazier, she's 76 years old. I mean, hey, miracles happen. But this here, I'm just going to say this. Really? Like, this is blowing my fucking mind. Oh, that gives me hope. That means I ain't got to be running around worried about it. I got time. I definitely got time. But that's a beautiful story. Regardless, she's 76 years old and she's pregnant. Yeah, I love it for him. I love it for him. And may the big man upstairs or big woman upstairs bless her and this pregnancy. And keep her safe. All right. So you know what time it is. You know how we finish off every week with the Get the Fuck Out of Here award. You know, this week's award, oh yeah, the person deserved it 150%. Wait, hold on, let me find it. Where is it? Hold up. Did I close the story by accident? I might have. No. Ah, there it is. That's it right there. All right. So, a couple of the things that they're trying to cut due to the budget is free school lunches for kids. Now, anybody that's grown up in the hood has lived off those school lunches. You had chicken, you had the pizza. I didn't eat the hot dogs. You had the burgers. I don't eat glizzies all together. But you had the burgers, you had everything. It had milk, chocolate milk. Oh, man, the chocolate milk was the... So everybody grew up on the free lunch. And so, for this stupid motherfucker to say what he said is just completely just a moment. For real. Don't know? Okay. Here's the story. This is from the Mirror US, and this is all over the place. GOP rep slams free school lunches and says hungry kids should get a job. Republican Congressman Rich McCormick suggested that underprivileged children should get to work if they want to be able to afford food following an announcement of the White House's federal aid freeze on school lunch programs. On Tuesday, Representative McCormick, a Republican, of course, out of Georgia, of course, defended the memo sent to federal department and agency ordering them to temporarily pause all activities related to obligations to or disbursement of all federal financial assistance and other relevant agencies' activities that may be implicated by the executive order. The memo indicated that the freeze wouldn't affect blah, 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 wouldn't affect Medicare or Social Security, blah, 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 blah. But that doesn't worry McCormick, who said kids should get to work like he did in the pre-child labor days. Before I was even 13 years old, I was picking berries in the field. Before child labor laws that precluded that, I was a paper boy. And when I was in high school, I worked my entire way through. McCormick said, you're telling me that kids who stay at home instead of going to work at Burger King, McDonald's during the summer should stay at home and get their free lunch instead of going to work. I think we need to have a top-down review. Who can actually go and actually produce their own income? Who can actually go there and do something that makes them have value and work skills for the future? McCormick continued. Okay. First things first, Rich McCormick. We're not talking about this is they have child labor laws for a particular reason. So let's start there. Second of all, we're not talking about 15, 16, 17-year-olds. We're talking about kids 3, 4, 5, and up to 12 and 13 and 14-year-olds. Second of all, why do they have to go to work to get food? When if their parents are working, we pay into that. You know, ignorant stuff happens. I hear ignorant stuff all the time. And this has got to be one of the dumbest and most ignorant things I have heard the entirety of my life. Why? Because here you are trying to say that kids, young kids, should be working and shouldn't get fed. So what happens if that's that kid's only meal of the day? So he shouldn't eat? You know what, ladies and gentlemen? I said this before, and I will say it again. We're going to fuck around and find out, and shit like this is what's happening. But guess what? Y'all don't give a fuck, but I do. So I'm going to keep this fight going, and I'm going to keep talking my shit. And if they don't like it, they can go suck a dick. But until then, Rich McCormick, representative from Georgia, you get this. Get the fuck out of here! And you know what? Because you even suggested that, and I'm a parent, you get this. Get the fuck out of here! And I bet if it's your kids, you wouldn't get, you know what? Fuck you, Rich McCormick. Get the fuck out of here! I mean, god damn, like, come on. All right, this was fun. I'm going to have to go back and check the audio for the video later on, but this was fun. This is what I needed. I want to thank you guys before we finish off with you know what, for joining me as always for another week. And I will see you next week. The start of Black History Month is tomorrow. I don't care what the federal government says. So let's celebrate our history. Let's celebrate who we are, and let's celebrate being black. So, of course, as always, before we finish off right, you know what I got to tell you. You can find me at sowwhatyousaying5@gmail.com. That's SOWTUSAYN5@gmail.com. Email me. Let me know what you want to see. Let me know what you want to talk about. Let me know. You can find me at Willie Just That Dude Williams on Facebook. So What You're Saying on Twitch, YouTube, Kick, and Instagram. And if you can't find me on any of those platforms, always remember, look up my link tree, look up So What You're Saying. You can find me. It will link you to everywhere you can find me. All right. So as always, let's finish this off right. All right. So, to finish the love story, sometimes things are going so well, she's catering to you, and then it kind of falls apart. But when you're in love, you are in love. And and when you're good for each other, this is what usually happens. All right. So yeah, that usually what happens. You you get pulled back. But to finish off, no matter what happens between you and said person, y'all have, especially if y'all have a connection, there's one thing that's always going to be able to be done. So before I play this last song, I want to thank those who are watching me. Those of you who are watching on Twitch, as you know, you will be rating Christopher Juicy Herman. And for those of you on Kick, YouTube, and Facebook, I want to thank you for watching me this week. As always, I will be back next week at the start of Black History Month. It'll be another week, and we'll have some more bullshit that we need to talk about. But until then, if you have a connection with somebody, this is the one thing that you will always be able to do when it comes to that person. Everybody have a wonderful, wonderful weekend, and I will see you next week.